You are probably watching this video because you want to be more productive. Hello everyone, my name is Edward White. If you're new here, I'm a creative entrepreneur based in the UK. I make videos about productivity, starting a business and building a brand, and just life in general, really. Yeah, so you're here because you want to know the 3 books that I think everyone should read to be more productive. Here are the 3 books. When you go to read these 3 books, read them in this order that I'm going to tell you. So I'm going to tell you from book 1, 2, 3. The reason for this is the fact that I think these books, if you read them in this order, it will help you just have that mental kind of switch and help you to be really focused on your tasks that you're doing, and just put that kind of sort of essence of life back into you. Because we all get through it, we all go through those different stages where we feel overwhelmed, we feel stressed, and I think, yeah, reading these 3 books in this order will help you. Book number 1 is Who Moved My Cheese by Dr. Spencer Johnson. I love this book. It's basically a it's basically a fiction book with a non-fiction element and story to it. It just talks about the rat race of life and how in life you get these different kind of people. So in the book, the characters are mice, and they are in an experiment of, we don't really know the context of it, but they're basically in a maze life, and every day new cheese comes to them in the same spot. Happens all the time. It's there until one day it's not in the same spot, and there's 3 different characters in the story, and it basically talks about how one runs off, just quickly changes, goes, does it. Another is a little bit timid at first, doesn't straight away go to find the new cheese place. And a third is just a lazy fuck. Doesn't want to go to the cheese, entitled, and just thinks that he's owed the cheese because that's where it's always been, and that's how it's always been, and that's how it always should be. And like, as soon as I say that, I can think of someone, and I bet you can think of someone in your life that is like this, and may not necessarily be a family member or a friend, but an acquaintance that you know who is like this. And it just talks about how, like, in life, things do happen and things do change, and it's about noticing when things start to change and when things start to become stale or different, and how pivoting and changing direction can be a good thing in your life, and it's not something that should be feared. It's something that should be almost sought after and followed through. I like this book because it just talks about life. It talks about how we live in this world as a busy world. Like we're so distracted, we're so caught up in how we think life should be, that we're not focused on how life is in the day and sort of in the present moment, and we're not living to that. As a society, we've got so caught up in watching the news and consuming so much content that we're not focusing on our own lives and how we can develop it. We're essentially just living in this rat race of life, going through super quick, and we never really take the time to look if this is the most beneficial way to live our lives and change if necessary. Highly recommend this book. Really good book. Get it. It's so quick. You can read it in a day, and you will want to read it in a day. I think I read it on an airplane, and I literally, like, so glad I read it. And it's one of those books I keep going back to whenever I need just a little bit of, maybe I'm in a slump or I'm feeling a little bit down. It's one of those books that just helps me sort of energize my energy and puts things into perspective. Book number 2 is The 4-Hour Workweek by Timothy Ferriss. I'm sure you've heard of this book. If you're into productivity and you're into watching this kind of stuff on YouTube, then you've probably heard of this book. It's a really good book in the sense that, why did I choose this book? So I chose this book because I just found it really useful in the sense that you don't have to do everything within your life or your business that you think you have to do, and you think it's detrimental to the life and the sustainability of the business or your life. It talks about how you don't need to earn as much money to live a rich life, and how the time that we're spending on task isn't necessarily the most valuable to our personal lives, and we could either outsource this or get rid of it altogether. It just kind of helps you to view how you go about your life, and how you sort of take a look at what you're doing and the different areas and aspects of your life. I like this book. Tim Ferriss is just a machine. The podcasts that he puts out are amazing. I'm a religious, avid listener, and I like his style of working. I've really connected to him, say over people like Gary Vee or other sort of people within the entrepreneurship area. I relate most to Tim Ferriss. The 4-Hour Workweek. I like this book. It took me a while to get this book. It wasn't one of the first books I read, which I would have thought it would have been. But yeah, for some reason I didn't read this book first. But yeah, really good. Enjoy it. It's still timeless I can't remember when it was written, but still very timeless and still very useful. So yeah, those two books. On to the third book. The third book is called Deep Work by Cal Newport. Again, if you're into productivity, you've probably heard of this book, and hopefully you've read it by now. The reason why I added this book at the end is because I think it's good to get the mindset from Who Moved My Cheese and the mindset to move forward and progress. Then it's good to get the working practices of the 4-Hour Workweek, so the practices of what you need to do to further enhance your business, how much you need to do and how much you don't need to do. And then this book goes on to like the tasks that you do actually need to do for your business and the stuff that you need to do to progress. Do it in a really conscious state and a really deep flow state. We live in a very distracted world, as I said before. Social media, YouTube, Instagram, the internet as a whole, the clickbait news stories that we see. We are in such a distracted world, and it's taken me a while to realize this. Like whenever I heard people talking about the flow state or the getting into a deep state of mind, like I never really could kind of grasp what this meant. And I think only sort of after reading this book was I able to see that we are able to get into a flow state, and we're able to get into a way of working that works for us. Yeah, it just talks about how you're in control of your life, but it takes like the determination and sort of self-awareness to realize what is taking your energy and your attention away from the tasks that you need to be doing into the 4-Hour Workweek. Do you see where I'm going? So it's like from Who Moved My Cheese, to get the idea, 4-Hour Workweek, see what you actually need to do, Deep Work, to be able to focus and really hone your attention in and get really good quality stuff created and made and developed in that area. Other ways that you can be productive. I found writing on my blackboard works really well. Writing ideas down. And one thing that I think to make yourself more productive is to have a scheduled time and routine of doing whatever you need to be doing in your life, whether that includes traveling, that includes meetings, that includes all the different aspects of for me, building a business and family life and being a parent. Time them in and make sure you adhere to them and you're strict with them. And I just think life for me, by having that structure, having that plan, runs so much smoother. Man, my battery died out as I was trying to record it. Where was I? I was saying goodbye. I was saying if you could consider subscribing, If you could consider subscribing to my channel, that would mean so much to me. Hit that subscribe button down below. Yeah, I just want to say thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. I appreciate you trying to develop yourself and grow. I think more people need to do it. And I think the world would be a lot better place if we all did. So yeah, thank you for watching this. Thank you for trying to improve yourself. Goodbye. You are probably watching this video because you want to be more productive. So much smoother.